Long ago, across a vast golden savanna, where the wind whispered through the tall grass, a lion cub was separated from his pride during a terrible storm. The thunder roared, lightning flashed, and in the chaos, he lost his way. When dawn broke, the cub found himself by a quiet riverbank, weak, frightened, and alone. That's when a kind shepherd found him. The man pitied the small creature, mistaking him for a wild cat. He carried him home and raised him among his sheep. Days turned into months. The cub grew, but differently. He learned to graze beside the sheep, to follow their calm rhythm. When the flock ran from thunder, he ran too. When the shepherd called, he obeyed. The sheep loved him, but they often whispered, "Why does he look so different? Why is he so big? Why are his paws so large?" The young lion would glance at his reflection in the water, his golden mane beginning to form, his teeth sharper than any sheep's, and he'd lower his head in shame. "I must be strange," he thought. "If I try to be like them, maybe I'll belong." So he tried. He mimicked their soft bleats. He kept his head down. He never roared. But deep inside, something stirred. At night, when the world slept, he would look at the moon and feel a pull, a wild energy, a memory he couldn't name. He didn't know it yet, but that was his roar, caged deep inside. One morning, as the flock grazed near a hill, a shadow moved across the land. A lion, massive, powerful, golden, emerged from the forest. The sheep screamed and scattered. The shepherd grabbed his staff, but the young lion froze. The great lion's eyes met his. It was like staring into a mirror he had never seen before. The stranger approached slowly, his steps steady and sure. "What are you doing here, among sheep?" he asked, his voice deep as thunder. I live here," stammered the young lion. "These are my friends. I am one of them." The older lion's eyes softened, almost sad. "One of them? Tell me, have you ever seen a sheep with claws like yours? With teeth meant to tear, not chew?" The young lion stepped back, confused. "But I can't be like you. I don't know how. I've never roared. I don't even know what I am." The elder lion nodded. "That's because you've forgotten. You've listened to their bleating so long, you've silenced your own roar." He turned and looked toward the distant mountains. "Come with me. Let me show you what you were born for." Fear wrapped around the young lion's heart. "What if I can't? What if I'm too different? What if I fail?" The elder lion's mane shimmered in the sunlight as he spoke. "The world told you to stay small because it feared your strength. But the roar you hide inside you, that is your truth. If you never let it out, you'll never know how high your spirit can rise." The young lion hesitated, looking back at the flock. The sheep bleated nervously, urging him to stay. "Don't go," they said. "It's dangerous out there. You'll get hurt." He took one last look at them, the only family he had ever known, and then turned toward the mountain. Every step away from the field felt like shedding a layer of fear. They climbed higher and higher until they reached the edge of a cliff overlooking the endless savanna. The wind rushed past, wild and free. "Listen," said the elder lion. "This is your home. This is where you belong. Now roar." The young lion's chest tightened. He tried, but only a weak growl came out. He closed his eyes, remembering the laughter, the doubt, the whispers that told him he was just a sheep. Then, somewhere deep inside, he heard it, the call he had silenced all his life. It rose within him like fire. He opened his mouth, and this time, a thunderous roar shook the earth beneath him. The mountains echoed it back as if the whole world remembered his name. The old lion smiled. "There it is. That's who you are." The young lion roared again, louder, stronger, until the sky seemed to tremble. In that moment, he felt it: freedom, power, truth. He was no longer the lion who tried to fit in. He was the lion who remembered his roar. From that day on, he never returned to the flock. He walked the savanna with his head high, his steps sure, his heart alive. And every sunrise, he roared, not to boast, but to remind himself of what it took to find his voice. Because sometimes, the world will try to tame you. It will tell you to stay quiet, to blend in, to forget the fire in your soul. But inside every heart lies a roar, a sound that can change everything once it's freed. So when doubt surrounds you and fear whispers, "Stay small," remember this: You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand tall, to rise, to roar.